All right. Welcome back to another edition of the Founders Table. Pull up a chair and have a real conversation with real founders and the issue you face as a founder. I've been a founder for 25 years, and I'm co-hosted by my man, Anthony Basciglio.
What's up?
And we answer all your questions. And the one question we want to ask first is, really, with those tattoos?
You don't like them? Don't lie, you love them. You want the same ones.
Which one's the oldest one?
This one.
Yeah, you could tell.
This one. Doesn't need a little refresher. So that's Archangel Michael's wings, and it's a sword with my son's birthstones on there.
Well, now I feel like an asshole.
Yeah, you fucking jerk off. This is like,
a nice piece.
Archangel Michael's going to send some bad juju to you.
Hey, don't say that.
Then I got my Wolverine.
I like the Wolverine. Is that for the Michigan?
Yeah, well, yeah, Michigan, and plus I love the Wolverine. It's a very underrated, vicious animal. You ever see a Wolverine will take out a fucking grizzly bear, bro?
No.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Go on YouTube and watch them.
Dude, you're thinking the Wolverine.
No,
like
no.
Hugh Jackman.
A Wolverine.
You're thinking of like the Wolverine.
Dude,
like
Wolverines
you've watched X-Men one too many
They
times.
are crazy, vicious.
There's no way. Like, we need to fact check this.
Fact check it.
Mackenzie, can you put something down here
Go to
right
YouTube
now?
during the show and look at Wolverine versus
during
a
the
bear.
show, after the show.
After the show.
Or maybe we could just put something here at the bottom.
Wolverine fights a bear.
There's no way a Wolverine kills a bear.
Watch him fuck that bear up, dude. Black
No,
bear, bear.
You've been watching Deadpool like in the Wolverine together.
No,
too many
I'm telling
times.
you, you'll see.
A Wolverine
A Wolverine.
and a bear.
Yeah, it crushes him.
We're looking at something here. Okay, well, just put a little, if you can, just do one of those.
Show the world how powerful
Do one of those
Wolverine
little
is.
inserts here, or maybe a stat from Google about Wolverine.
Fucking card.
But anyway, we digress. All right, so you know what we do here on every episode. We go through the issues that you face as a founder, and we pull your card. As you know, at any moment you feel like your card can be pulled as a founder, entrepreneur, CEO. I'm feeling pink. I'm going to wear some pink shorts tomorrow for my party. So I'm going to wear, I don't know if this is pink. This is like salmon. Speaking of bears, this is salmon. What keeps you going? What keeps me going is understanding and trying to reach like threshold and my true potential, and I don't know what that is. I think you could talk to some people and they would say it's limitless and it's infinite, but I don't know. Like I was sharing with the team the other day, I've done a lot of cool stuff in my career. I mean, you've seen me, I've employed hundreds of employees, thousands of employees at one point, and built businesses of 30 million, 60 million a year. And admittedly, like, I was probably operating less than what my potential was. And so with what we're doing right now, we're not as big as I've been in the past, but I feel like in my heart, in my mind, we're going to be way bigger than we've ever been. And I said, man, it's pretty crazy to think how obsessed I am with this and what's possible and what I've done in the past, not operating at my full potential. Like, I'm more excited just to see what's possible than any kind of like measuring stick of money that's going to be achieved.
Yeah, I think for me, that's an interesting response. I think about this stuff a lot. The one thing I think about, I'm always think about like my life, like my family, being out here, being close to the water, having a nice house, having nice things. And like, I'm always like, I have to always just keep going to maintain or exceed this level of life I have now. Because if I don't keep going, what I have now will dip and go down.
Yeah.
And then the other thing probably is, I mean, because there's times where I don't want to keep going. I'm like, fuck, dude, But like, I just think about all the learnings we've done over the past 5 years and wiring the brain of like, you have to keep going.
Right.
No matter
There's no choice.
So it's like I have these bad days where I was like, I don't even want to fucking win, but I have to keep fucking going because that's what I have to fucking do. Yeah. It just becomes a total mindset that you have to just keep going no matter what. When does it stop? I don't fucking know, dude.
And I know people that have infinitely more than you and I, infinitely more.
And they don't stop.
And you and I combined times 10, and they don't stop. They don't stop because I think that is the thing. It's the journey and the destination and uncovering what's possible. This morning, I was having a conversation with my children, and I learned a lot about like myself. I learned a lot about running businesses, and I learned a lot about managing people through managing these little tiny people.
Yeah.
You know, because they question everything and they're open to anything, right? Because they're just in that stage of life. And, you know, my daughter brings to me her reading log, you know, and you have to like sign off on it. And so I see Monday, Tuesday filled out, and my wife's signatures. Wednesday's blank, and then she's got Thursday. So she basically skipped a day.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Can you sign my reading log, Daddy?" And I said, "Yeah." So I signed it, and then I put a giant X through the blank space on Wednesday, and she's like, "Oh, Daddy, you can't do that." And I said, "Yeah, I want you to see. I want you to see that you did not do what was required, and I also don't want you to be tempted to fill it in. And I want your teacher to know that I know, and I signed it. And I want your teacher to know that, like, I put that X through there because I'm holding you to a certain set of standards." And she's like, "I know, but Dad, you know, yesterday I had this and I had that, and it was just hard." I said, "Yeah, I get it. Like, I go, life is hard. I go, I have to do hard things every day." And you were talking about your house by the water and all this kind of stuff. And I said, if Daddy didn't do the hard things, we wouldn't be living here.
In this house.
I said, in this house, you wouldn't have that school uniform on. I wouldn't be dropping you off in that car. You wouldn't have the vacations we had this summer. You wouldn't have the experiences that you've experienced. You wouldn't have the memories that you have. And who knows where we would be.
Yep.
And she goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Wow, I'm really glad you did those hard things." It was an amazing moment.
Wow,
like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I said, I said, "Thank you. I'm really glad." And what I want to do is I want you to do the hard things earlier on in life because I think your life will be easier, you know? And she goes, I get it, Dad. I get it. You know, and I was like, wow, that's pretty prophetic right there, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think what keeps me going is the stewardship that I've taken on, and certainly what you've taken on, of just like the tribe that we've been called to lead, and then how we have to lead them. And
whether it's your kids or your business.
And those people out there, they're your kids too as well. They're your business kids, right? And you have to like steward and mentor them. And if you think about you, how many employees you got?
Like 80.
80. Okay. So let's just say that 80 is an average of a family of 4. 8 times 4 is 320 people. 320 people, human souls,
that are affected
by what you do.
Yep.
Or
It's
don't
crazy.
or don't do.
Yeah, or don't do.
More importantly, what you don't do.
Yeah.
And so I think when you think about this as a CEO and a founder, when that train leaves the station, there's not a reverse. That train is either going down the tracks to its destination or it's derailing at some point and causing calamity and chaos. Think about that.
Yeah.
And so, like, what keeps me going is no options.
Yeah.
No other option.
Doing the hard things. Yeah, I had this thing with my son. I've been trying to get my youngest son always tells me how he wants to get, and my younger son is like, he was born like me, like not good genetics, like he's very thin and posture.
Not good genetics.
Yo, it took me a long fucking time to build this.
Some TRT.
And he's been talking about how he wants to get in shape, and this is like a year of it. And I bring him to the gym whenever I can. I'm tired, and you know he's always like skirting. This hurts, that hurts. We change machines. It's always a fucking thing, drive me nuts, you know. Finally, like, about 3 months, I said, look, you know what? We're gonna just start foundational stuff. 100 push-ups every day. Let's just start doing that. You know, and I would ask him every day, did you do them yet? No, I'll do them later. And he never fucking does them, you know. And this is like 3 months, like almost every day. I'm like, yo, you fucking tell me how you want to be in shape. You show me pictures of kids that are in shape. What do you want to look like? You don't want to fucking do it. What do I got to do? Do I got to sit here with you and make you do it? Just tell me and I'll do that. Maybe I did them. Great. We'll start right fucking now. I know, but I'm a little... Stop. You make every fucking excuse. Start right now. I have a timer here. We're going to do 10 push-ups at a time with a 2-minute break and then do the fucking sit-ups. This is last night. He does the 10 push-ups, and then while he's doing them, he scratches himself, right? And like scratches his zit and starts bleeding. Dad, I'm bleeding. I don't fucking care. Do the push-ups. But I'm bleeding. I don't fucking care. This is what keeps happening. You keep finding I don't care. So now he's doing push-ups. It's like dripping on the fucking carpet.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't care. During the 2-minute break, go over there, get a tissue and hold it, and then you're going to keep fucking doing it. And he did them. He did his 100 push-ups, 30 sit-ups. Like, we're doing this every day. If I have to sit right next to you and make you do it with a fucking time, watch you do it, you're going to be so happy that I made you fucking do it. This is just one little lesson of hard things you got to do.
Right.
You know, and sometimes you got to just hold their hand and walk them through it or do it with them.
And that's part of being a founder or CEO is you got to like kind of show people that you can do it and that you're willing to do it and hold them accountable. It's so crazy, man, how little accountability we have to ourselves.
Yep.
And how much more accountable we will be to someone else. This is why personal trainers exist. This is why coaches and mentors exist. This is why, facilitators exist, because we say we want this thing and yet we're unwilling to do what's required to get it. But you need someone kind of pushing you and kicking you in the ass.
Yep.
I got into personal development because I knew like I was not at, my true potential. I just knew it. Like, and I think that place is a miserable place because you know what's possible.
When you know how much more you could do,
you're not doing it.
You're not doing it.
You're not doing it. So I'll tell a quick story. So I went. My friend, my mentor, is a gentleman by the name of Garrett J. White. He's an absolute animal. Like, the guy is the most disciplined man on human being.
Yeah.
Or the most disciplined human being on planet Earth. Like, it's crazy. And so, like I've watched this guy and he laid out all these principles, and it's just about weaponizing your physical body, having alignment in your spirituality, like having relationships that are fulfilling and uplifting, and then like kicking ass in business. And how all of them are directly connected, and like what keeps you going. And so I hired this guy long before like he really like made what he has today. Today he lives in like this $28 million mansion, 10-car garage, all full with every car you can imagine, traveling private, life on fire, marriage on fire, body weaponized, all this kind of stuff. And he had elements of that, but he had one thing that I was like lacking in my life was certainty. And then that was married up to discipline. And so it's weird to go hire like a coach or a mentor that you're making more money than. I was making more money, but like I was 225 pounds. I was drinking heavily. Like I was a new father. I wasn't about to give birth, but my wife was about to give birth to a son. And I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to raise this like boy to be a man when I still feel like one? So anyway, I signed up for this event. And it's the only way I can describe it is like the Navy SEALs, Fight Club, Joel Osteen, the Dalai Lama, and Tony Robbins like had a bastard love child, and it's like a full week of just getting your ass kicked, getting uplifted, brotherhood, bonding, beat down, business, breakthrough, build. I mean, it's just this like chasm of just chaos, but in the epicenter of that storm, which is your life, like you find this clarity. And so we've been going for like multiple days, and like this one day they took us down to the beach. There's a fire. They gave us burgers. It was like the first warm meal we had in a long time. And they're like, just hang out and converse amongst yourselves. And we're all laughing, grab assing, and all this kind of stuff. And so we're heading back to the hotel. There's a Surf and Sand hotel right here in Laguna Beach on PCH.
Yeah, Surf and Sand.
And we're walking down PCH, and we hear this like from the alley, and I'm like, oh no. And I look, and then Garrett's just standing there like, brr. He looks like a monster, like 20 feet tall. And I'm like, oh shit, it's 10 o'clock at night. We go down to the beach. He's like, they put life vests on us. I'm like, oh God, this is not going to end well. The surf is crashing huge on the shore. And they're like, there's this guy like way out there holding a glow stick, I called him a merman.
In the ocean?
In the ocean. In the middle of the night, and he's holding a glow stick, and he's like, "Go swim out to that guy." And I'm like, "What?" And dude, I grew up in the ocean, so I'm like fairly comfortable. We had guys from like Okies from Muskogee that had never seen the water, and they're like getting blasted in the waves, and we had to go as a group, and we're in the water, we're shivering,
That's dangerous.
Our ass off, yeah, and we're out there. It's the middle of the night. Pitch black, can't see under your feet. And then they make us come into the shore, and we're sitting in the waves, just getting pounded on by these waves. And it seemed like it was going on for hours. And then at one point, I see Garrett like walk up the beach, and he goes up the beach and he just stands there, and they're like, army crawl to Garrett. And I'm like, all right, it's got to be like 1 and 2 in the morning. Like, these fuckers got to sleep at some point, right? Like they can't keep going. So I'm going to go fast to him, because I know once I get to him, it's over. It's over. Like I'm done. And so I've caught this second gear, and I'm army crawling, snot coming out of my mouth, all banged up from the surf and the sand, and I get to Garrett, and I get right to him, and then he like takes 10 steps back. I'm like, all right, he's testing me. Boom, 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 10 more steps. Boom, 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 10 more steps. And then all of a sudden, like, bam. His foot comes like down on my face, like just on my face, and I'm in the sand, and he leans down like very authoritatively but calmly, and he says, when are you going to stop looking for the fucking finish line?
Wow.
The finish line doesn't exist. The finish line is when I bury you in this sand and you're dead, not when you're above and you have life in your lungs.
Wow.
And I was like, I mean, I still get like chills thinking about it. I was like, he's like, you're always, Nick, that's your problem. You're always looking for the finish line. And dude, that was 2015, you know?
Wow.
And I still remember that to this day, right? I still remembered, like, that's what keeps me going, is there is no finish line until that end finish line.
That's a good story.
Yeah, dude, it was powerful, dude. And I think about that because it's helpful from the lens of being a founder or CEO, because, you know, what business number is this for you that you're on right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5.
5, right? I'd have to count. I feel like, you know.
Besides all the little side hustles.
Yeah, I feel like P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman, where he's got all his signs in the corner of failed businesses. I don't even know how many I have, but more than 6. But yet, I'm still here. Right? I'm still alive. I'm still clothed. I live in Newport Beach. And amongst all of that shit, somehow, because you just keep going, it just keeps going. Right? And so, I don't know. I think if I figured out really what keeps me going, I might stop. I think the mystery around what keeps me going is sort of the fun part of this. And looking at, there is no finish line. So if there is no finish line, like,
you just keep fucking going.
Just keep going. And how far can I push it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Without suffering your health.
Without suffering your health.
Yeah.
without getting a boot on your face.
Yeah.
Even though you feel like that daily.
That was good, man.
Yeah. Just keep going. There's a Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. And sometimes you hit something. Oh, damn. That's just a dam. Turn around and keep going. I'm Nick Long. This is Anthony Basciglio, and this has been another episode of The Founders Table. Like, subscribe, and share, because we care. We'll see you on the next episode.
Later.